Hello viewers, welcome back to our channel. Ladies and gentlemen, today we'll continue with our chicken farming series. And in today's video, we'll talk about the management of young chicks, or what is called brooding. Brooding or management of young chicks is the most delicate stage of the chicken farming. And in this video, we'll discuss some of the steps that farmers need to take for the success in brooding. We ask again that you subscribe to our channel and also share our videos. So, brooding, the key issue about brooding is the provision of heat for the young chicks. The young chicks are not able to regulate their body temperature, and in commercial farming, the farmer has to provide artificial heat. In a natural situation, or like the kienyeji or local chicken, the mother hen usually provides warmth by covering the young chicks with her feathers. And the mother hen shows the young chicks how to scavenge for food, something like that the farmer has to provide in commercial farming. So a brooder is where you raise young chicks, and a brooder is usually a circular enclosure which is made in the main chicken house. The brooder is usually made of cardboard or timber, and what you do is cut the cardboard into two and then make a ring or a circular enclosure, as you can see in the picture. The farmer then provides heat in the brooder by use of charcoal or jiko. Sometimes farmers use infrared uh, lamp, or in bigger operations, the farmers use gas to keep the brooder warm. For most brooders, usually the floor is what we call the deep litter floor. And this means that you put litter on the floor. And the litter is usually wood shavings you put a layer of wood shavings on the floor so that you provide a clean and dry environment for the growth of the chicks. As we said, the brooder is in a part of the main chicken house. And before you bring in day-old chicks, the entire chicken house should be cleaned and disinfected and left to rest for a few days before you bring in the chicks. On the day you bring the chicks, the brooder should be heated before the chicks come. And when the chicks come, they should be provided with water and food. Although in most cases, some farmers prefer to provide the water first because the chicks are assumed to be dehydrated, in the movement from wherever you pick them from to bring them to the farm. So it's good to give the water even before you give the feed. And the equipment that you use for the water and the feed should be clean and in good condition. Let me add that also it's good to be cautious on where you get your day old chicks. You need to identify a reputable supplier so that you start off with quality chicks. And by quality chicks, I mean chicks that are free from diseases, chicks that have no inhibitions for proper growth. And because looking at a chick, you may not be able to identify or know whether the chick is good quality or not, all you can do is try to buy from a reputable supplier. Now, the brooder should maintain temperature of 35 degrees centigrade in the first week, and the temperature can be slightly reduced every week to a level where then you achieve the room temperature. Some farmers don't use thermometers to check the temperature, but you can tell from the actions of the chicks it can guide you how to regulate the temperature. For instance, when it's cold, the chicks crowd around the source of heat, if it's a jiko, or they uh, crowd directly under the infrared uh, lamp, which is suspended over the circular enclosure. So when it's very hot, you will see the chicks, they move away from the heat source, they stretch, and sometimes they even pant. Then you know that the heat is too much. Now, in terms of water, you need to give the chicks clean and fresh water. It is said that if you cannot drink that water, you should not give it to the chicks. And again, when you give young chicks the water, it's good to use very small drinkers, because if the drinkers are large, the chicks soak in the water, and that can bring diseases. And also for the drinkers and the feeder equipment, it's good to have for the chicks to have sufficient access to the drinkers or the feeding equipment. Uh, the rule of thumb is that a chick should not move more than 1 meter to access water or feed. Light is also another issue in brooding. There should be light almost 24 hours so that the chicks remain active and they can feed. They can be able to see where the feeders or the drinkers are and continue to feed even at night. Another very important thing is ventilation. There should be adequate circulation of air in order to get rid of, for instance, ammonia or carbon dioxide gases, or even odor, the smells that should be there. Ammonia is a precursor for respiratory diseases, so it's good to ensure that you have quality air and adequate air circulation coming to the brooder. Although care should be taken, for instance, if you have a chicken house where you have put curtains on the sides, for ventilation, you should not um, lift the curtains from below. You should lift at the top, because if you lift the curtains from below, the wind that comes may not be good for the young chicks. In terms of the feed, it's good to give a well balanced diet. It's good that the chicks have sufficient access, as we said, to the feeders. Now, brooding stage is where farmers report many deaths, high mortality rate. And one of the key issues to bring down the mortality rate is to ensure that the chicks have clean and dry and environment. And the litter or the wood shavings play a key role in this. Indeed, it is said the litter is sets the stage for the success of the brooding or the chicken farming. Um, we'll be talking about biosafety measures that need to be taken to ensure or to minimize the spread of diseases. There are certain steps that should happen to ensure that the chicken have clean environment free from diseases. And we'll talk about them in another video. We'll also talk about the feeding regime for the chicken. We'll talk about what should be fed to the chicken at various stages in another video. And we'll also talk about an app that the Kenya Agricultural and Livestock Research Organization's CARO has developed, which guides the farmers on feed formulation, the ingredients that you should use at every stage of growth. Let me add that many farmers are skeptical about this brooding stage. They fear to take care of or manage the young chicks. And in cases like farmers who keep chicken for egg production, you find there are those farmers who want to buy 16 weeks old chicks, and they buy the 16 week old chicks, and then they keep them for a few weeks before they start laying, so that they avoid the management of young chicks. And a layer usually starts laying eggs uh, after 5 months. And so when a farmer buys a chick at 16 weeks, they'll have about 2 to 4 weeks to keep the chicken before they start laying, and therefore they avoid this critical stage of brooding. So for now, we'll stop there until next time. Bye bye.